Hi, so in this video I'm going to show you a few of the decks I've been using over the last year or so. So in the first video I'm going to show you 5 decks, and next week I'll show you a further 5 decks. So the first deck is the first one I ever had, which is the Marchetti Tarot by Stephanie Caponi. I bought this in the French edition because I couldn't find it in English. The reason I went for this deck is I'd actually bought a book on explaining tarot by Stephanie Caponi, and this is one of the decks she mentioned as a suggested deck, and I actually quite like the look of it. So if you open the box, we get a nice book. Of course it's in French, so I can't read it, but it's still quite a nice back book anyway. Cards themselves, take them out of the box. I'll remove the box out of the way. So the cards themselves are quite minimalist, drawn by Stephanie. They're in black and white with some red colour highlights. So I'll show you a few cards, some of my favourite cards. There's the World, which I quite like. It's Stephanie lying in bed reading a book with a cat beside her with a starry night behind it. I really like that because it actually reminds me of things at home, because we have a cat. We read in bed, so that's quite nice. The Empress is always one of my favourite cards. Again, just for a flavour, I will be doing a deeper dive on all these decks at some point. This is just to give you an idea of the style of the deck. So the ones I'm showing you now are a few of my favourites. Judgment, 3 of Cups, showing family celebration, some nice champagne glasses, strawberries and some roses. The Devil, showing a figure chained to an hourglass, so the devil is actually depicted. 10 of Swords, one of my least favourite cards, again because of the graphic details. This one sits quite close to Rider-Waite, so it is quite disturbing. The one issue I do have with these cards is in the wands, they can be quite difficult to read because they're quite minimal. So 6 of Wands, we just see wands with a celebratory wreath. The 9, we just see a wreath with blood marks on it. Usually 9 of Wands represents a battle scar, but until you've learned that, I think it's quite difficult to tell that from the imagery of the cards. So I think for me, one of the letdowns for these is the wands. They're quite difficult to read. So I will add some more detailed pictures in the video, so you can have a better look at these and me showing you them like this. Then I'll move on to my next set. The next set I bought was Gilded Foil Tarot. The reason I bought these was because the Tarot Shop UK had an offer where for a tarot starter set that included this deck, a tarot cloth, incense, some gemstones, and a keyword guide to the tarot cards. That was a quite nice set for not very much money. The cards themselves are basically the Rider-Waite deck in gold foil, and they've been highly coloured to make them look very flashy. So they're very good looking cards. I'll just show you a few. The Magician, for instance. So basically the imagery shown is the Rider-Waite imagery, but a little more colorised to make them look a bit more interesting. So I've got the 4 of Swords, the Fool, Death, the Magician, the Hanged Man, and just a few others to show you what they look like. So they probably won't come out on camera, but they are very, very shiny. I don't know if that comes out when I switch them there, and even the backs of these cards are very shiny. So they're a very nice set, for a very, very good looking set, but they do use the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith images, which are not my favourite. The other downside of this book is the guidebook that comes with it. It's a very small, more of a leaflet. So there's a little bit on each card in there, Chariot, the Emperor, etc. But it's very, very minimal. As a starter deck, it's probably quite good, and if you want to impress your friends with something very shiny, well, it would be a good deck. The next deck, sorry, it's upside down, is Easy Tarot from Joseph Oloshaw. Again, I bought this from the Tarot Shop UK. I mainly bought this for the cards included, which are the Tarot Royal deck by Marchetti. So I've got a couple of Marchetti decks in my collection. My next set is also a Marchetti set. Now the box this comes in is pretty awful. It's already falling apart. So I'd actually store my cards separately from the box in a bag. The book that comes with it is much better than the ones that came with the gold tarot I've shown you. So a little bit more written about each card. There's also space in the book for personal notes, so you can put your own things down, your own interpretation of the cards. And if we look at the cards themselves, they are a much more modern style deck than the Rider-Waite-Smith we've just seen. So just to show you a few of my favourite cards from this deck, there's the Sun, the Fool, so he's actually stepping out, he's already in the air, he's tossing into the air the symbols for all the zodiac signs. It still has the dog yapping at his feet as the magician always does, so the Fool always does, showing him stepping into the unknown. Magician, Ace of Cups. So when we get to the Ten of Swords, instead of the swords actually piercing somebody's body, they're showing us in the air above him. That's his thoughts holding him down rather than actually piercing his flesh. So it's a little nicer to look at than the usual Rider-Waite-Smith. Three of Cups, Hanging Man. The Empress is a lovely card. Generally the Empress is one of my favourites just because it is just so rich and just to encompass the whole world, because the Empress is nurturing the world. I'll move on to the next deck, which is also a Marchetti deck. This one is called Marchetti Tarot. This again was from the Tarot Shop UK. This deck has actually been on the YouTube video before. It's Maria at Tarot Shop UK made an unboxing video of this set, and I bought the set that she did the unboxing video with. So these have actually been on video before, so they're minor stars themselves. This has a nice solid box. Comes with a guidebook, black and white but quite detailed, quite nice book. And again, this is quite a modern deck. Looking at the cards themselves, what I like about some of these is some of the actual characters shown on them look a little bit like film stars. So to me that looks a bit like Sean Connery on The King of Wands. The Fool, again an interesting depiction of the Fool. To me it looks a little bit like Terry Jones. He's also holding, you probably won't be able to see it on the video, but I'll show up close up and insert it. He's actually holding a copy of the Fool from the Marseille deck, so a much more ancient deck than this. You probably won't be able to see it very well. Four of Cups, I really like that card. The expression on the face of somebody so disappointed in what they've lost from their cups. Sorry, the Five of Cups, what they've lost, even though they've still got plenty of cups remaining. The Empress, to me that looks like Lisa Bonet back from the 80s, and a very rich card. Again, swords, 10 of Swords. Again, he's avoided actually showing swords piercing somebody's flesh. Again, they're hovering above him to represent their being held in by thoughts while he's down. But you can really see the real anguish on that figure. It's a really powerful card. Three of Swords. To me, that looks like it's sharp, as in the Napoleonic soldier, with some love of his in his background. It's a nice card. And the Sun card, I found that really interesting because it's got a depiction of the Sun King on it. So he's actually taken history and inspiration from, sorry, he's taken inspiration from history. So I think it's really nice. So those are the Marchetti cards. And the final ones we're going to look at today, I'm going to leave that there for a comparison with these next set of cards. Next set are Grimalkin's Curious Cats Tarot. These were present and they're a lovely set. They are based around cats. These come with an excellent book. And each card is actually dedicated to a cat. What happened when MJ Cullinan was crowdfunding the set, the first 80 people who invested had a card dedicated to their cat. So each cat is dedicated, each card is dedicated to a cat. So for the lovers, number 6 is dedicated to Mookie and Miss Kitty, and it tells you a little bit about the cats they're dedicated to, which is really nice. The reason I left the other card out from the Marchetti Gilded Royal set is just to show you how big these cards are. If you've got small hands, these may not be the cards for you. Just for a comparison of how big these cards are compared with the standard card. Another point with these cards is they are actually an 80 card deck rather than 78, and have a couple of cards that are just in this deck. One of them is a Major Arcana card 22 of Unity and 23 of Grimalkin. Just to show you a few cards, 10 of Swords. The Fool is really interesting because this cat stepping into the void, taking a leap of inspiration, isn't doing it blindly. The cat on this picture looks like it really wants to go. It is purpose in mind and it's ready, which is a little bit different from Rider-Waite. Lovers is a really nice card. Lots of symbolism here, which again I'll talk about in the further video. I'm not going to go into too much depth in this video. Eight of Wands. So really, these are really nice cards. but they are very big. Again, I'll do a still, show you these cards in a little more detail. So thank you very much. That's the video for today. Please get involved in the comments. Which of these decks do you like? What decks do you like? Have you suggestions of decks you think I should have? Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video when I'll be showing you my remaining 5 decks. Thank you very much.